We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
All right. Hey, Northbound. We are talking about hard leadership. And the first episode in this kind of like series or common theme was the miles no one sees. And then we went into the weight you carry. And I talked about a close call that I had. And we discussed suicide in that episode. And what it led to, that entire time was filled with stress. And leadership is hard. It can be exhausting. And often the challenges are invisible. But it doesn't have to destroy us. The key is to have awareness of that, boundaries, support, self-care, spiritual grounding, and intentional reflection. And when done well, all of that hard stuff, those hard miles of leadership, become growth, resilience, mission impact for not only you, but for also the people that you lead, going to the summit. So from wilderness to summit, I think that's what I'm going to call it, because I have experienced the wilderness. And that's what I wanted to tell you about today, is we have discussed being alone in leadership. And when I was done with my career in the military, I was spent. Let me tell you what, I was frustrated about a lot of things. There were so many things that I had been a part of. That my mind was racing all the time. There was a lot of stress, especially during that time that I shared in the last couple of episodes. That was a very stressful time. And all of that builds up. And when you're at the end of your career, there's just a lot of stress weighing on you. And I felt that, and I just wanted to check out. And so I had always had this dream of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. And so I decided, okay, after I get out of the Air Force, I'm going to go and I'm going to jump on the trail, and I'm just going to be gone. I'm going to be in the wilderness. And I did that. I went out in the wilderness and I experienced being alone. I hiked for 68 days. And while I was with people some of the time, there were days and even a whole entire week where I was alone. And I mean fully alone. In the backcountry, miles and miles away from anybody. Daytime, nighttime, didn't see a soul. And it was during that time that you really have deep levels of reflection, both physical reflection and spiritual reflection, mental reflection. I mean, it is the time where you are alone in your own thoughts. And there are aspects of that I wasn't ready for. But I thought a lot about what had taken place over my entire life, to include my military career. And a lot of the things that we're talking about in these raw episodes right now are the things that were going through my head. And I was processing a lot of them all over again. And I was thinking about all of the aspects of leadership over the years. The people that I had led, the people that had led me, my mentors, the people that I mentored, the family challenges, the challenges of being gone and deployed, the challenges of what I knew versus what I could talk about. All of that stuff is in your head, and some people process it differently. I decided I'm going to process this on the trail, and that's what I went to do. And so that's why I'm calling this the wilderness to the summit, because we want to sum up these few episodes and give you kind of the way forward. What action can you take as a leader to not get bogged down in all of that hard, exhausting, invisible stuff? All the miles that no one sees, don't let it drag you down. And I can help you with that. I've learned a lot over the years, so I can help you. But I want to talk about one of the things that I experienced many, many times as an officer in the military is we would have officer calls. And I had great leadership over the years, very good leadership, but oftentimes I would get kind of frustrated that the officer calls would be focused on my career versus focused on the people that I lead. You've probably heard these lines before. Have you ever heard this? No one cares more about you than you. Have you ever heard nobody cares about your career more than you? Or if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying? Or you name it, you've heard these little lines where, hey, nobody's going to take care of you like you are. So just take care of yourself. And oftentimes we have these meetings. We're in these positions, maybe executive level positions, and we come together with other people at executive level or above, and we discuss how we are going to get promoted. And that's one of the reasons I started the community online that I did, is because at work, you should be focused on getting your people promoted. Have a team behind you, maybe even in private. Maybe you can have folks that help you get promoted and help you with leadership at the same time. That's what I'm here for. That's what this community online is about, is that we can help encourage each other on leadership and how to take care of our people better. And also at the same time, encourage you in your promotions and help you get promoted, help you lead in the way that demands promotion, where it's like, hey, you are leading so well, we have to give you more. We've got to put you in charge of more people, of more processes, more programs, because you're leading so well. I want to help you with that. And so that is why when I was all alone in the wilderness, this is the kind of thing that came to my head, is we can help each other. We don't have to be alone. We don't have to be alone with the weight that we carry, with the miles that nobody sees. We can get to the summit, especially when we do it together. I've been to the summit alone. It's not as fun as going to the summit together. Trust me, it's much more fun to go to the summit with other people. We need to move from I to we. That is Christ-centered leadership. And when we do it alone, all those things that happen, all those they're leadership blisters, all right? And we learn from getting blisters. We learn to get better shoes, better socks, to take care of our feet, just like we got to take care of ourselves as leaders. Okay. We need to, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 things to share with you that get us to the summit. All right. 1 is recognize the load. Recognize what you're carrying. You got to see the weight that you're carrying first. If you can get rid of weight, get rid of it. Just like on the trail. I don't like to hike with a lot of weight. I like to hike very light. In fact, my ultralight setup is not even 10 pounds. I want to go with the least amount of weight as possible. But we got to recognize what we have. What are we weighted down with? And then we need to set boundaries. Okay? We got to set boundaries to what we can take with us, to what we can do. We got to build a support system. That's why I started this business. That's why I started this community online, is we got to build a support system, just like Abraham Lincoln did. We got to prioritize our physical health. That means taking care of our bodies, managing our mental load. That means delegating, simplifying. You'll see on this podcast, as well as on my website, links to a friend of mine, Luke, and his company, Tumation, because they are about helping your eternal programs and processes and applications, getting that all running well so that you can focus on people. That's very, very important. We have to be able to manage. We can't manage all that and take care of people. So you have to manage your mental load, what's going into your mind and what's going into your head and what you're doing. And you got to delegate and you got to simplify processes. And you've got to restore your spirituality. You need to trust and obey God. And that's what Northbound is about. Elevating your team through Christ-centered leadership. And so you need to restore spirituality. And then embracing adventure. Life is one big adventure. Embrace it. Embrace the people around you. And let's go on adventures together. That's a whole other aspect of Northbound. And then lead humbly. You didn't get here on your own. You got here with help. We all did. Many times we do have to just pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and we got to get going on our own. I've been there. I've been on the trail where I didn't want to go any farther, or it was just tough, or whatever the case may be. You got to pick yourself up. But it's a lot easier when there's other people there to encourage you and walk with you. So out of the wilderness, we find the summit. That's where restoration is. That's where our boundaries are. And that's where Christ-centered resilience is. So all this to say, if you need help with any of this, I want you to reach out to me directly, chris@go-northbound.com. Reach out to me. That's why I started this. That's why I'm talking about it. I'd love to have you. I'd love to meet with you. Let's learn together. Let's lead together. So Northbound, lead boldly, humbly, confidently. God created you for this. You just listened to another episode from the Northbound Podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you were encouraged and empowered in leadership. Go lead boldly and humbly. And remember our vision. Elevate your team through Christ-centered leadership. If you want to be a part of our community, just go to go-northbound.com and follow the link and come join us. Follow along with courses and live streams and chats, and maybe even join us for an adventure. We'd love to have you. All of those links are in the description below. Thank you again for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. See ya.